In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. St. Francis de Sales has a very important saying, and I think about it a lot. He says that next to sin, the most harmful thing for the soul is anxiety. Next to sin itself, sin is the thing that can kill the soul. But after sin, anxiety is the most harmful thing for the soul. And the devil uses anxiety to hurt us when he can't cause us to sin. If he can't cause us to sin, he's going to try to make us worry. He's going to try to make us stressed out. And he's very good at it, and he's very smart. The gospel today shows us a kind of scenario where these two alternates kind of show up. Martha invited Jesus over. Now, just put yourself in Martha's place. Imagine you invited somebody over, and this is a very important person. Okay? She invited Jesus to her house. What would you do if Jesus was coming to your house? That's almost hard to imagine. Okay, somebody important, whoever, some celebrity, somebody you really would fawn over if you met them in real life. Famous person's coming to your house. What are you going to do? Most people are going to just pull out all the stops. The best food you can make and the best drinks, and you're going to go and grab, some good wine, and you're going to get some great desserts, and it's going to be thing after thing after thing, and you're going to make sure everything's perfectly clean, and you're going to make sure, and it's all going to be great. And while they're there, probably, you're going to pay attention, make sure everything's okay. That's exactly what Martha was doing. And it feels like almost sad. You read the gospel, you hear it, and Jesus takes Martha's side. Martha says, Lord, I'm doing all this work, and Mary's just sitting there doing nothing. Can you tell her to help me? And Jesus takes Mary's side. It's very hard to see his perspective, especially those of us that are kind of hardworking and we have zeal, and somebody's coming over, and yet Jesus says no. Now look at his answer. His answer is so precise. Jesus, it's not enough to say, don't be anxious. It's not enough to say, don't worry. It's not enough to say, don't stress out. That's just, it's like when somebody's upset, you tell them to calm down. It's not going to help at all. Jesus gets to the point. What's the point? How do you let go of anxiety and stress and worry? Jesus says to Martha, 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 you're anxious and troubled about many things. One thing only is needed. That's the answer. That's how. Why are we stressed? You know why we're stressed? Because we have to have everything. And when somebody's coming over, a simple dinner is never going to be enough. And I've visited probably most of you by this point, and I beg you, please just keep things simple, and I've never seen that yet. Because it's just hard for human beings. We want to be open-hearted. We want to be generous, and that's a good thing, and Martha was doing something beautiful. Jesus he didn't yell at her, but he wanted to heal her, and he said, you're anxious about many things. One thing's enough. One thing, and Martha could have just made some takhrata and some chai and Jesus would have been happy with that. Jesus is a simple man. He doesn't need hosa. And if she had done that and given just one thing is enough, that's really what he was trying to say. Then she could have sat with Mary as well. And what's more important? Emptying your freezer and putting everything in front of Jesus? Again, it's a nice act of generosity. But Jesus is at your house. Maybe spend some time with him while he's there. What's more important? Guys, our lives are limited. And we waste every second we spend in anxiety is a wasted second. And it's a second that we're never going to get back. And again, I'm not telling you stop being anxious. I'm telling you, let some stuff go. You don't have to have everything. And if you're going to have a worse car, you still got a car and you're still going to get to work. And if you have a simpler house, and if the furniture in your house is not up to date and the most fashionable furniture that came out this year, if it's a couple of years old, the world's not going to end. And if you can accept some outdated stuff and a simpler life, and you have more time on your hands, you are going to be a happier person. Anxiety, I get it. We are all stressed out. It's a very hard life to live. But a lot of our stress, we cause ourselves. Because we want everything. And Jesus is answering to Martha, you can't have everything. You just need one thing. Whatever you need, be happy with that. Work for that. And she's right. It's like, if somebody's coming over, you got to give them something. Martha's right to that point. And if Martha was getting one thing ready and Mary didn't help her with that one thing, okay, no. Then Martha's right and Mary's wrong. But I think Mary noticed, look, that's enough. He's one guy. How much is he going to eat? Let's sit and listen to him. He's smart. Let's learn from him. And Jesus says, what Mary has will not be taken from her. This is the better portion. This is the right thing to do. And so the simple life, where was Mary sitting? At his feet. She was happy sitting at somebody's feet. Simple life. And somebody with a simple life will have less stress and will be happier. And maybe people are going to talk about you because you don't have the fanciest stuff, and that's okay. Let them talk because you're happier than they are. Because you have time in your life, you have a portion of your heart that belongs to Jesus that you can actually rest and sit at his feet and listen to him. And everybody who has all of the stuff doesn't have the time and they don't have the words of Christ. They lost and you won in this. So brothers and sisters, Jesus himself personally places Mary as the model for this. A model of not laziness. That's the way Martha interpreted it. She's not lazy. She's intelligent. She does what's needed, and then when what's needed is finished, she stops. And she sits still, and she listens to Jesus and to the voice of God in her heart. Brothers and sisters, let us follow in this example. Let go of the extra stuff. Be happy with simplicity, and live a happier life.